Okay, friends and subscribers, here's one for you. I'm actually going to predict an earthquake. I believe that from the discoveries I have recently made in regard to the solar flares, what you're actually seeing in the background is actually the what I call the beginning of the coronal mass dump flare. Now, preceding that was another type of flare. Now, it's that type of flare that can predict earthquakes up to 3 days prior to them actually happening. And I mean 3 days. I have predicted the Java quake and the last Japan earthquake and the Mexico quake, and I basically predicted another one, and there shall be another one. Oh, sorry, there's one that hasn't happened yet, which should happen, which is a prediction I've made to somebody else about a certain type of quake. But this prediction I make will be a magnitude 5 to an 8, could be a little bit higher. Now, the flare that preceded this coronal mass dump flare that you're just seeing there, that's the type of flare that puts out the coronal mass dump that I showed you in one of my other videos. Now, this happens after the propulsion flare. Now, the propulsion flare started actually late on the 7th, about just after lunch on the 7th, actually went all the way to about 12 to 14 hours, then went quiet again, and then this one started. Now, this is the ending of the coronal mass dump flare that shoots out, and the mass should be visible on H1 or H2 in the next few days. Hopefully it will be. And basically, we should feel the quake within the next few days. I'm making this as a video prediction because I believe that now, by this discovery, we will be able to predict earthquakes within a 3-day period. Unfortunately, I don't know how to predict where. All I know is I would say that all earthquake zones should be put onto alert. Now, it's basically this. I could be wrong. This is a prediction that I'm putting out there because I believe that I'm right. Okay, I believe that these flares and my moving star theory is 100% correct, which I've already proven in my two videos ago, where we actually shoot away from another moving star. And basically the propulsion, I tracked back through the Core 2 images, and I found a certain type of flare that happens 3 days prior to every earthquake. And this is what I've been doing the last couple of weeks, folks. I've been actually tracking back these quakes, and basically it's pretty spot on. So here I am. I'm actually putting out a prediction. Today is the 9th of April 2011. Within the next 3 days, we will feel, we're actually most probably going to get a quake maybe tomorrow or ever, which is going to be another magnitude, which I've predicted to somebody else, which I've said. But within the next 3 days of today, we will feel either a magnitude 5 or above, most probably up to about 8. And I judge the magnitude size on the strength of the flare. Because it's been pretty consistent so far, and I've been right, and that's how I'm making these judgments. Now, the coronal mass dump section of the flare is happening, is the start of it today, which I tracked back using the other information from the other coronal mass dumps. I tracked it back to this similar type of flare, which you're seeing here. But a preceding flare to this is what actually causes the quake. I may even be able to track back quakes till about maybe 4 days maximum, to an earthquake happening, which could mean that we could put earthquake zones on alert to watch out for quakes. So anybody in dangerous structures that is a little bit scared could actually move out, go to a friend's place for a few days, because basically, yeah, I believe that this could be tracked down. I reckon if we had more satellites up there observing the sun, that we most probably could also use these multiple satellites around the sun to actually work out the direction of the sun is going to move, hence where the Earth is going to be in that position within that time period. And I believe that with a lot of practice, we may even be able to narrow it down to an hour, basically based on, and this is what I'm trying to do at the moment, is I'm trying to track back to all these earthquakes to when these two type of flares happened prior to the quake. We may even be able to track back. If I can find enough of them, I may be able to track it down a bit more precisely as to approximately when they're going to happen. This is what I'm hoping to do. This is not my normal research, because I've only just basically found this in the last few weeks where I've made the connection, and so far all my research that I've been doing over the last 3 weeks actually does track back to these two types of flares, and also to a coronal mass dump event that can be seen on another stereo camera. So the three are all out there, and they're actually happening and showing themselves to be actually true and correct. So I'm actually going to put this one out there, and I'm going to put me cred on the line. Yeah, it's sort of, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I'm actually pretty sure I'm right, folks, because our star is in a moving process. As you've seen in my last two videos, the last one is in regard to the sun expanding, so that means the sun is expanding because they've been trying to cover it up. So it's been getting ready for this coronal mass dump. And this is the coronal mass jump that just has happened. Okay, that's the flare that you're seeing there. That's the beginning of that flare. Now that should be visible within about the day of the quake. It should be visible on H1 or H2 cameras. Was what I'm hoping, and because that's what I'm finding going back and looking at all the other earthquakes. I'm associating them with these type of flares. So anyhow, this is Anthony Avery once again signing off. Whether it happens or not is another thing, but I'm putting out my prediction because I think I'm actually right, because it also bases it on my moving sun theories. I'll catch you later in 3 days.